This is Fred Beck from Fred Talks Fighting, proudly sponsored by the Boxing News app. You can download it in the link in description. I'm joined by Wade Plem. I've managed to track him down. The AT&T Stadium. It's a big stadium.
Massive.
I call Wade in the media room. Wade, where are you? Where are you? 10 missed calls. But obviously, I'm very annoying.
Did you hear when you called me how loud it was? I couldn't hear a thing, man.
Wade was at a party. I was like, where are you?
Rare for me. I do not do parties a lot. I kind of got dragged into this one. To be honest with you, I'm ready to go back and go to sleep. But, yeah, man, here we are.
And then, so it was a big maze, but we got there. Yeah. And then, here we are. Anyway, you've done a very successful day for you. One of the most successful days of your career. Well, definitely the most successful live stream day of your career. For those who don't know, Wade was doing a live stream with his dad. Your dad, I clicked on it a couple of times. The numbers, peak concurrent viewers, I think were 180,000 at one time. Crazy. Which is insane. And that wasn't even during the Mike Tyson fight. That was a little bit before. And your dad looked like he was doing quite a good job as well.
He enjoyed it, man. For me, this was something that I just kind of put in my head years ago that I wanted to show my dad, what it was that I did and how would I ever make that happen. And then this opportunity came up. Actually, people don't know this. I kind of pitched this opportunity I guess I'll tell the story. When the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight was coming together and they announced it, I had no part in the event other than they were looking at like maybe an alternate commentary type thing, and they go, well, what would you want to do? And I said, well, is there an opportunity to do the main play-by-play commentary? And they said, no, I think we have that filled. Mauro Ranallo, legend, of course. So, okay, is there anything else? Well, we were kind of thinking about that. What do you think? And the first thing I went to was, okay, live watch party, because True Jordy, the inspiration for this, the trailblazer for pretty much everything in the influencer boxing kind of coverage side, had done this, and I think you have already seen now with, Turki Al-Sheikh and Riyadh season. So I looked at that and went, well, I could do something like that maybe, but I want to do it with my dad. And so that's how the idea came about. And yeah, man, majorly successful. I think the most on YouTube successful stream video thing I've ever done.
No, certainly indeed. Let me just sort my camera out. I noticed that it's not level. There we go, perfect. No, certainly it is pretty much one of the most successful things done on the channel. Did your dad enjoy it though? He was talking for a very long time. It was the very first fight to the very end. Was that a 5-hour stint?
The whole stream was 7 hours.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he held up, but I guess I see where I get it from. He did have
resilience.
The resilience, right? He had to take a couple of breaks, but yeah, he hung in there, and he did well. He was he was the entertaining part of chat. He was roasting me, Shaquille.
That scared me.
All right, have a good night,
my
guys.
gosh.
See you next time.
PJ, a.k.a. Overflow there. That'll make the blooper reel.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah,
So that was overt flow, by the way. You don't know. Okay.
But yeah, my dad had a great time. Shaquille O'Neal sat down with us and told us that my dad was beautiful. So
wow, you guys met Shaquille O'Neal.
We interviewed him.
Wow, that's sick.
Yeah.
Was it the only guy you interviewed? Were there more?
I interviewed Eddie Hearn for a bit.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
He was
first time meeting him?
No, I met Eddie when we did Canelo's fight. Eddie watches everybody, man. He knows everything.
Oh, he knew you?
Yeah, he was like, I've been watching your stuff for a while.
Oh, wow.
As you see, by the way, Eddie and Nikisa had a little bit of a thing in the ring where Eddie was celebrating a little too hard, and they kind of had like a hug. It was kind of weird.
You should have seen the media room incident earlier.
What happened?
So Eddie Hearn, Katie Taylor, and Brian Peters, Katie Taylor's manager, were walking to the media room and immediately start having a close to shouting match with the media guy, Michael, who works at MVP. There's a video of it out now.
They were shouting at him?
Yeah.
About what?
About like sitting on the desk or something. I'm not too sure.
Wow. Dang.
Yeah, I thought it was quite
there
well.
was a lot of high tensions tonight between...
Well, it's because of the... Okay, elephant in the room. Eddie Hearn's suing Jake Paul for $100 million.
We know this.
And so... Eddie Hearn can only say certain things. I guess Nikisa can only say certain things. So it's been very, when you're suing someone for $100 million,
Gotta be careful.
and your fighter wins against their fighter on the Way show, things get a little bit more tense.
They definitely did, and he was celebrating a little hard. Let's just say that. Eddie was doing like the double fist in the air, pointing at people in the crowd. It was like Eddie had just won it.
Nice to see you.
It was like
wow, nice to see you too.
That guy looks a lot like Jake Paul.
I know. We got
Fellas.
Hey, how you doing? That
Say hello
looks
to the
like
camera.
Jake, but it's not.
Hey, make sure you guys follow W online. Get W at Walmart. and get another W like we did tonight when we get to Mike Tyson. Let's go.
All right, there he is. There he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice to see you, Ver.
Random and gentleman looks exactly like Jake. You know, it's got to be a weird thing, right? When being yourself is not the best version of you, it's got to be odd, you know.
The
Hey,
doppelganger.
man, more power to him.
Yeah, as long as he's happy, that's what matters, you know.
Yeah,
Do you have a doppelganger and not Wade?
I don't know, but what happens in like 5 years? You know?
Well, we just got to hope that Jake Paul stays relevant, which Jake has done, and Jake will
when
do.
His looks change. You can't look like
Well,
that.
Jake's look will change as well.
So he's got to change with Jake. He's got to
yeah.
change with Jake.
If Jake shaves his
was
hair
a
off,
little
he's got to shave his hair off.
Yeah, he was a little skinny. Yeah, how hilarious would that be? Anyway, yeah, fun stuff, man. Good stuff tonight. Had Eddie Hearn, Amber Rose, oddly enough.
That name rings a bell.
It probably does because of your search history, but yeah, Amber Rose, the provocateur online, we'll just say sexualized individual. She's now, a mom of 2. She has her kids tattooed on her forehead.
Wow. Oh, Amber Rose, yes. I know Amber Rose because I'm a big fan of Jeff Wittek, and Amber Rose, bald girl, isn't she?
Yep.
She went on Jeff Wittek's show, and that's how I know Amber Rose.
I'm sure that's how you know Amber Rose.
It actually is. I'm an innocent man.
Alrighty, I'll take your word for it. But yeah, we had a fun time, man. We had Showbiz came on for a bit.
OG or Fred was fighting as well, Showbiz, interviewed him a while
He's in here somewhere,
back.
by the way.
Oh, really?
Or maybe he left, but he was in here a second ago.
But Shaquille O'Neal was amazing. That's pretty impressive. Was your dad starstruck?
He was shaking a little
Oh,
bit. He shook
that's
it.
so sweet.
He got shook a little bit. He was, he was just super awesome to talk to Shaq, and that's a bucket list thing for me, let alone my dad. So the whole thing was just amazing, man. It was so good.
Big success. Will that be a regular occurrence now? Will that be your thing on Fight Night?
I don't know, man. I enjoyed it, and it seemed to do very well, and we'll see what happens. But obviously, I love my play-by-play spot with MVP prospects, and we have another show on December 13th that's going to be good. So I love that spot. I don't really know if I want to give that up, but if there's more opportunities like this to be an alternate kind of version of it and have more guests, and they have to see the numbers that I brought, and really Mike and Jake brought. But yeah, I would like to do something like this in the future for sure.
I guess so. Maybe you could do this sort of thing for the pay-per-views, and then for the non-pay-per-views, you do the presenting.
Maybe. What's going to be interesting is what they do next. Netflix, I heard, had a rough time tonight trying to keep the platform up whilst all this was going on. Apparently it was freezing and stuff, which is their first one. And, I don't want to say you expect it because you hope that doesn't happen, but we'll see what happens. The numbers were probably astronomical. They said they did 70,000 in here, so they got to do something else. I just don't know what.
Well, apparently on Tuesday we hear about the numbers of what comes out. I guess I'd love to know the peak concurrent viewers. I know I was on my Twitter feed, and there's a legal live stream that popped up on my feed. Someone was live streaming on Twitter from the stadium, and it had 2.5 million current people watching. So if 2.5 million people are watching it on Twitter, you can only imagine what the concurrent numbers are on Netflix.
I just heard they had some issues with the platform tonight that was cutting in and out and it was buffering, so a lot of people are upset. But if it was stable, 280 million subscribers, you'd have to think, I don't know, upwards of 50 to 100 to maybe more million watched. I don't know. It's Mike Tyson. It's Mike.
Let's get straight into it then. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson, your overall thoughts on the fight?
I'm kind of still processing it, man. A lot of things when I watched it live, I was so confused about. I was like, Jake doesn't normally look this bad,
Bad.
Yeah, like not switched on, not assertive, not looking for damage, Right. I was like, you looked far better than this in other fights. Maybe it was the heavyweight, maybe it was Mike, maybe it was just he did not want to be anywhere near the proximity of Mike when Mike came forward. And those first 2 rounds were really, if we were going to get it, that's where we're going to get it. Mike was still fresh, and Mike looked pretty darn good in those first couple of rounds. I'm not going to lie. I was like, wow. Just to watch him move again. Obviously, he didn't look 20 or 30 or 40, but it was cool to see Mike move around at a quick pace. How about the angle change jab? He landed on Jake, kind of dazed him. I was like, oh, shoot. But, yeah, if it was going to be a competitive thing, Jake was going to have to meet Mike versus, keeping distance, which he did pretty much the first couple, maybe 3 rounds. And after that point, Mike was pretty tired. You could see the legs were a little bit wobbly and unstable, not from being hit, but just from being fatigued and trying to keep his technique and his form. And Jake did what he was supposed to do. You know, he put some shots on him. It wasn't like Jake didn't try to hit him hard. He did, but I don't know. Those last couple of rounds, it did feel like both of them, Jake and Mike, both, no one really kind of did much. And I heard in the press conference, which is why I'm waiting to make a video, Jake was like, oh, I didn't want to hurt him in the last few rounds. So, I don't know. I just don't know really what do you come out of here saying, right? Like, I mean, you say it was a good night of business, for sure. But it'll be interesting to see where Jake goes next, because I'm not really sure what that performance says. You know, like, what does it say for what he wants to do? World Championship? Nothing. What does it say for who his next opponent should be? Nothing. What did he say for who his next opponent should be? Nothing.
No, he didn't really say much. I asked a question in the press conference to both Nikisa and Jake, and I was like, how do you top this? How do you get bigger than this? And they were kind of just like, oh, we'll see what happens in the future. Yeah, really,
interesting answer.
But,
for a guy that
something like, I can't quite, I'm really tired right now, so I can't quite remember what they said. So tune into the Fred Beck Fighting Jake Paul press conference, which is out right now on the channel, which make sure we're in focus.
plug.
So that's out right now. But it's difficult to top this, though.
Usually a guy that knows what the next move is and always has it planned. Jake's usually that guy calling out this guy, calling out that guy.
But this was at this pinnacle. This was the peak.
It was.
It's very, very hard to get bigger than this.
For numbers,
but I don't know if Jake Paul Canelo does bigger numbers than this. It probably.
Have that dance partner.
It might do bigger. Does Jake Paul Canelo do bigger numbers than Jake Paul Mike Tyson? Maybe, actually. I mean, it's got
potentially because of the believability of what Canelo would do to him. I mean, honestly, that is the big draw of this card. The only way you got a win out of this for the casual fan was for Mike to just kill Jake. And that was never going to happen.
It was a sort of lose-lose for Jake, wasn't it? Like,
what everybody
you either beat up an old man or you get knocked out by Mike Tyson.
Or you go into a decision with Mike, which is what happened, which doesn't really tell us much. In fact, if you're talking about world championship, not that really Jake needs to look impressive to win a world title or to challenge for one, because I'm sure one of these boxing commissions is going to, you know, when they see the money that's being made, I think you and I both know that sometimes these commissions are like, oh, yeah, we have a vacant belt, you know, it's out there. So I don't know who it'll be or when it'll be, but I don't know, man. I think it's, like I said, sometimes you come out of these Jake fights. I think we did the same thing in the Mike Perry fight where we're like, well, shit, I don't really know what to think about that, you know? So I wasn't super impressed with Jake, but I was impressed. I was more impressed with Mike's ability to take punches. I was like, oh shit.
And Mike slipping as well.
Was it not?
I was very impressed by that.
I was gonna say he was making
his head movement.
He was making Jake miss his jab multiple times, and I was getting like.
There's also times where I thought, how on earth did Jake not land that punch? And Mike just moved his head by a millimeter. I guess it's the natural instinct was still there.
The ability to still have a sense of timing was so cool to see for a 58-year-old guy, because he stands so square. It's like, how are you not hitting him? But it's just that pendulum, boom, boom, boom. The amount of oblique strength he still has at 58 is one of the great.
His back is massive.
His back. Yeah. By the way, his ass cheeks were out on Netflix. Was one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
That went even more viral, which helped the promotion.
So funny. He's talking to his son, by the way. That's Amir Tyson. And I don't know. I didn't hear the interview, but we were watching it. I'm sitting there with Dad, and I was like, and Mike Tyson's butt cheeks are out. Live on Netflix.
Netflix even posted the screenshot on their own Twitter.
That's amazing. I love that. They should have
like 1 million views in the first 18 minutes.
Mike is one of those guys because he wears his groin protector. He wears his groin protector.
Have a look what views is on Twitter.
And he doesn't wear compression under his groin.
So he doesn't wear boxes under his groin protector.
Usually you have like your compression shorts or whatever. Mike's old school. He's going just. I think it's a jock strap he wears, which is like something that no one in the year 2024 has in their wardrobe. So it was hilarious. But yeah, I'm glad Mike didn't get hurt. I think that was the big concern for everyone. I just don't know about the decision for Jake and what it means for him, right? Does it make more people want to watch his next one?
18 million views it's got there, look.
So funny.
On the Netflix official
Twitter. What
Twitter.
did they say for the caption? Do they act like
Mike Tyson pre-fight interview got real cheeky?
That's amazing.
That guy needs a raise, whoever runs the Twitter.
But yeah, man, I mean that's kind of my thoughts. I'll sleep tonight, and then I'll go through it a little more and try to figure out what really happened. But for now, that's kind of where I'm at.
Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor. This was a controversial one. I thought it could have gone either way, but I guess with the point being deducted, you would have given it to Amanda.
It was odd.
I thought Amanda won it by 1 or 2 rounds, but it was so close.
Yeah, I mean, like, when you watch it back, it's probably going to be one of those where you can find ways that both ladies won. And the moment, I was a little confused by the way that Katie had won, because like you said, there was the point deduction late. The last 2 rounds were such toss-up rounds. What I think was given to Katie in large favor was her ability to counter in the pocket, where Amanda started the fight really strong. And let's be honest, the headbutt did change the fight. I don't care if it was intentional or not. It changed the fight when Amanda got cut and then got cut even deeper, because now it's hard to see out of your lead eye, which is the eye getting jabbed and hooked. And it slowed I think it slowed momentum. I think it did mess with Amanda's head a little bit too.
Well, that cut was one of the worst cuts I've seen in a long time. The fact she went to the distance of that cut, I'm surprised the doctor didn't stop it.
We were sitting next
Her
to
eye was gonna like fall off almost. It was that bad.
It was flapping. The doctors were saying those words specifically. If it keeps flapping, we'll stop this. So it was just interesting. But I thought Amanda won. I think if on rewatch, I'm going to think that too. But I think what the bigger difference, people were saying that Katie Taylor was landing the bigger shots. I don't know that I agree with that completely, but I do think that her ability to counter in quick succession when Amanda was the one trying to press the action. When I hate that term, press the action. If you're not punching while moving forward, then you're not pressing the action. You're just walking forward. But Amanda was punching, moving forward. She was landing, but Katie Taylor was flurrying in those moments. And I think those little flurries added up to a lot of flurries and won her some close rounds. Because Amanda, if you looked at the fight ending statistics, now again, you'll have to look round by round. Amanda outpunched her by like 70 or 80 punches. That could have been early on, so I need to go back and look round by round. But I thought Amanda won.
That's fair. Do you reckon they'll do the trilogy?
Katie Taylor said she would. You were in the room.
Yeah.
I don't know that Amanda did it.
No, they didn't answer it.
Yeah, Katie said she would be down for it. She said
in the post-fight presser. Did you watch the post-fight presser?
Yeah, well, I watched that clip.
Maybe
She said if she wants to, I'm down. But I don't know that Amanda wants to right now. I don't know, man. The headbutt thing really threw the whole thing off. And it's not like it necessarily, again, that's intentional. It's just southpaw orthodox. It's going to happen sometimes. You got those two people trying to clash, throwing opposite punches. You throw a left hand, your head's going to move over. Right hand, your head's going to move over, and it ends up clashing together over and over. But you don't usually see it that bad. So it was tough, but it is what it is.
Certainly move. Anything else on the card or tonight that surprised you before we wrap this up?
Not really. Wenderson and Niraj was cool for influencer boxing. To see Wenderson go the distance there. I know Niraj was not really, it was an interesting fight for him, but I'm proud of Wenderson. That's my guy, man. Always proud of him. Always seeing influencers, hold themselves accountable and go in there and do that when they don't have to is pretty cool. I wonder how Jake is going to troll people with this whole contract.
Oh, he said it doesn't matter. And then the press, it was like, oh, that's just me being character to promotion. I was like, I respect that.
I'm glad he did that because it was kind of a weird, like, Katie Taylor, I'm taking your purse. I was like, okay, what are we doing? But yeah, outside of that, it's just a great night, man. Just a great night. I'm still, honestly, I don't think it's set in yet, and it probably won't until I'm at home tomorrow. But we got to go. I'm being told I got to go, Fred, and that's one person I can't say no to. So I got to go. But I appreciate you, Fred. You're the hardest working man in the game, dude. And I know you're tired as hell, so get you some rest. And shoot, man, I'll see you soon. I don't know when, but I'll see you soon.
All right, I'll see you soon, Wade. Thanks very much, bro.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you. Fred Talks Fighting's Paul vs. Tyson content will be brought to you by the Boxing News app. Here are 3 features which will change the way you watch boxing. Number 1, fight picks. Predict the outcome of the fights, compete against your friends, and climb the leaderboard for a chance to win cash prizes. Number 2, live scorecards. Score every round on Paul vs. Tyson and share your scorecard straight to social media. And number 3, ring walk reminders. Get a push notification as the fighters start their ring walks to make sure you never miss a fight again. So, download the Boxing News app now.